This week on 3D Printed Soup, scary looking cemetery pieces from printable scenery. That's right after this. Hello fellow makers and welcome back to 3D Printed Soup. This week the lovely guys at Printable Scenery, really great website, they do some fantastic stuff. I reviewed their dungeon tiles back in the day and got a really good response. So when I contacted them and asked them, do you have any more things I could review? They sent me some stuff from their Shadowfey collection, which is a great sort of spooky village and sort of ghostly settings for scenery. It's really cool, and they sent me across the graveyard, which is a really nice section of walls for your sort of spooky cemetery kind of situations for your D&D stuff or your Age of Sigmar / Warhammer fantasy battle games. And yeah, these look absolutely great. And we're going to go through how I printed them, how I painted them, and just how to make them look absolutely awesome. So thanks again for sending me this printable scenery. They haven't paid for this review, it's just purely they sent me some stuff and I am reviewing it. So, honesty all around here. Now, before we go on with this however, thanks to everyone who's liked and subscribed this month. We're well on our way to 600 subscribers. Fantastic, you guys are amazing. If you haven't liked and subscribed, now's a perfect time. Drag your cursor down, give the subscribe button a quick click, and there you are, you're part of the 3D printed community, which is 3D Printed Soup. I love you more than I like cock-a-leaky. That sounded weird. Right, let's get on and put ourselves some really spooky cemetery kind of walls and cemetery set pieces. Let's give this a try. Okay, with the printing done, let's do a nice dark grey base for the stone. Oh, there we go. This is Games Workshop's new brush range, just falling to bits already.
I don't know where you buy them from. Just get good other brushes.
It's not a bad plan. With the brush reattached, let's continue with the dark grey basing on the dry stone wall. And then we're going to do a nice dark brown for the tree. And then we're going to do a slightly darker grey for the stonework and masonry. And with the basing finished, it's time to move on with some highlighting and dry brushing. So let's start off by a slightly darker grey and then a slightly darker brown, so a slightly lighter brown on the tree, and a bit of dry brushing to bring out those details in the bark and in the knot hole there. And we can get on printing the centerpiece. Right, time to dry brush the monumental stonework and the tops of the wall and some of the gravestones, just so I can stand out. Then a nice wet wash for the tree. While that was happening, we're printing out the main set piece, which is the big gate section, which is going to look absolutely awesome. There with the gate section printed out, we can now get on with the basing of this. Same dark grey and then some darker silver on the gate itself. And then some edge highlighting to bring out the stonework on the arch. And then some rusty brown to make the gate look old and corroded, and then some bronzy gold for the crucifix, well not the cross, and then some little bits of moss to make it look nice. Then we apply some wet glue onto the top of the walls, and we're going to sprinkle on some flock to get some really nice moss effects for the ancient stone. And with that done, let's add some decent lighting and some smoke effects to see what it looks like. So yeah, as you can see, these things turned out really, really nicely. You've got the really cool looking cemetery walls with all the broken headstones and the collapsing masonry, and the sort of dry stone walls which are slowly falling into themselves, caked in this sort of lovely claggy mud. And the level of detail on these things is absolutely beautiful. You've got rocks, and you've got all kinds of bits of broken stonework and all kinds of ornate pillars, and down here you've got the broken, eroded headstones, which just look amazing. You've got the straight pieces, and you have got the corners, and the corners are great. And once again, you have got headstones, and you've got sort of some kind of masonry. You've got the headstones, and you've got all the chunky bits of rock and the mud. And yeah, this just looks absolutely brilliant. And with a little bit of love and a little bit of dry brushing, a few decent washes, these things come out very, very nicely. Then we've got my favourite bit, which is the ancient wizened tree, which has grown up and through this wall here. It takes the corner pieces, which I liked anyway, and adds this wonderful spooky sort of elm or perhaps oak tree just growing up through it, with its tendrils of branches, fingers reaching up to the sky. And you can almost see sort of like a starry sky in the background with some spooky sort of Scooby-Doo clouds and a big full moon there. Yeah, that is very, very nice. And then you've got the centerpiece, which is the cemetery gates. And yeah, this is a lovely piece. It's got broken masonry and cracked flagstones on the gate here, and it's got this ancient rusty gate going through and sort of bent in all the wrong places and just hanging on by its hinges here. You can almost hear it sort of creaking in the wind. And you've got an open casket there which is going to push itself through, and I'm not sure what's in it, but I don't think I want to know. And once again, you've got the nice mud, and you've got the headstones, and that is a lovely piece. And it's all sort of looked over by this grinning skull carved into the keystone there, which is really cool. Yes, I know what a keystone is. This is a fantastic set of scenery, and I'm really looking forward to doing some undead or perhaps some sort of vampires with this. And I'm going to use this for my next scary Ravenloft adventure in my Pathfinder group. Yeah, this is going to be absolutely great. I printed this with no supports, so there's no damage on here where supports clip on. The gate may have needed a few supports. It's printed out really nicely and looks really, really good, but perhaps a few supports on the gate may have made it turn out a little straighter. But quite frankly, it's a broken gate. I don't think I want it any straighter. I like it all sort of warped and bent with age. It looks very, very cool. And yeah, painted it, washed it, bit of dry brushing. Didn't put too much effort in, just purely because I wanted to see what it would look like with basic painting. Just people who do basic painting skills, people who just want to get this stuff painted and they're on the tabletop. I think if you spend a few hours on each one of these pieces, you can make some incredibly looking chunky bits of scenery. But I think I've done quite well on this, and I'm very happy with sort of the sprinkled moss and the odd sort of grassy bits coming up through the cracked flagstones. Yeah, I'm very happy where this has turned out. Thank you very much to Printable Scenery. Links in the description below. Check them out. They're really good. There's a few free things on there you can try out. And if you like this stuff, they do a very nice range of scary, chunky, almost supernatural scenery. Thanks so much for watching 3D Printed Soup. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've also got a Patreon if you want to help the channel out. Stay happy, stay safe, keep printing.